Good morning. Hi everyone, this is Stacy. We are Loving My Veteran and this is Walking in My Shoes this morning. This is actually our February 23rd edition, so I just want to put that out there. Um, just want to have an opportunity to say good morning. Today we are going to talk about trust and how to rebuild trust in our relationship when there's been seeds of doubt planted. So you know me, I've got to have my coffee this morning. So everybody get your coffee, come on and join us. And I'll wait just a second and get everybody on board. Good morning. And one more swallow of coffee will be helpful. Alrighty, so let's get started today. We have so much to cover as usual in our series. Trust is a big thing. This is the last week of how to build healthy, loving relationships and what we can do to make that work. Good morning, Miss Sarah. How are you? So, we hope you've gained a lot from this series. Morning, Shannon. We hope you've gained a lot from this series and what we're doing on here. So I just wanted to kind of bring everybody up to speed. I have new stuff I have to kind of read. First of all, y'all do know that I am not a professional counselor. Okay, I am not a licensed counselor. So if all I'm giving you is advice from personal experiences and from research, so if you need help, reach out and get that. With that being said, I need to welcome, y'all have not seen her post the last 2 days, Rachel. She is doing our inspirational posts for us. They are all original photography works from her, and she does Captured from the Soul. So I just want to give a shout out to Rachel. If you see her post, just go in and tell her how amazing they are because those pictures are phenomenal. Coming up, starting from now on, we are going to do for the month of every month. We're going to start with the month of March. We're going to do our caregiver hero. And so, what I ask that you do is that you nominate, thank you, Sarah, is that you nominate a person who is in the group that you've been inspired by or somebody that you see posting to be the caregiver hero for March. And they're going to get a great little gift basket and all this stuff. I kind of taken the liberty to pick March's. Our caregiver hero for the month of March coming forward, and we'll celebrate her all month, is going to be Miss Nakia. Anybody who did what she did to get Richard out during that storm is amazing. Her ponder points help all of us so much. So our caregiver hero of the month for coming into March is going to be Miss Nakia, who makes me super happy. Couple other things we have going on. Jeannie Lutz, she is my very dear friend. She wrote Live to Tell. It's the consequences of pharmacal-induced suicide on the way back. Her son Johnny committed suicide, chemically induced from prescriptions he got from the VA. Her younger son Justin found him, and 18 months later, Justin committed suicide. So this is a book of inspiration and hope, but it really does talk about some of the pharmacological issues that we have going on. So what I want you to do, she will be a guest with us, I cannot wait, on Thursday, March the 4th on Let's Talk. So she's going to come and tell her story and her way back and her mission. Somebody asked her one day, and she'll tell you this in detail, what are you going to do? And she says, I'm going to stop veteran suicide. And they said, really? And she goes, I don't know how yet, but I'm going to find a way. So she'll be on that as well. So that's kind of the rundown of where we are bright and early this morning. Trust. Trust is key in any relationship. Okay, it starts from the moment we're born. We trust that our parents, we're helpless, okay? And we trust that our parents are going to give us food and change our diaper and make us safe. That trust starts early on in our life, from literally the moments we're born. We trust our lives to somebody else. That trust, there's never a doubt in my mind that my mom was going to feed me. Now, when I got older, she kind of said something about missing a meal or two, maybe. Hey, Amanda. Maybe missing a meal or two when I misbehaved. But I knew that my mother and my father were going to take care of me. I just knew that. It was a given in our lives. So that trust starts early on in our life. For our spouses, for our veterans, the trust that they must develop with their buddies in combat is life saving. You have to know that somebody has your back. That creates a strong bond and a strong relationship. That's why a lot of times our veterans come back and they're battle buddies. They have this bond with them that we're never going to get because they had that trust there. Created a strong relationship. So many times, though, in our lives, and we hear it a lot from veteran spouses, are how do we get back from the deceit? How do we get back when they're deceitful? How do we overcome that to get that trust back? It can be done. It takes time, and it takes healing. So there's a few things that I think everybody needs to understand. We all try to be people we're not. We try to portray to people things that we may not be. I may feel like doo-doo, and I get dressed up, at least semi-dressed, to go to Walmart because I never want to be on the video or the picture of what was seen wearing at the Walmart, okay? So that is something I do, whether I feel bad, whether I was in my spandex, which I don't own, by the way, whether I was in my spandex a half an hour before I walked out the door, okay? I don't want to be seen on that video at what you wear to the Walmart. So no matter how bad I felt or how comfortable I was, I get dressed and go to Walmart. You know, it's just something that I do. We all do it. We all do that. You know, you go to the parent-teacher conference. You don't go in with your hair up in the rollers or all sweaty and gross where you've just been vomited on by your kid. And that may be your normal life. You know, you've been running around after your children and you got the vomit and you got the stuff. You don't go to the parent-teacher conference that way. We don't just run. I love you. I put my jeans over my leggings. I hear you, sister. You don't go running to the to the parent-teacher conference that way. You put on the airs, right? Because we don't want sometimes people to see our flaws. For those of y'all who don't know me very well, I get up in the morning and I have to put plaster of Paris up in my wrinkles, okay? And I know this doesn't look good, but this is after the plaster of Paris look. So imagine what it looks like before the plaster of Paris moment. But we do it. I mean, we do it. That's just what we do. So I need you to think about that, okay? That we don't want to ever let people down. We don't want people to see an image of us that is less than what we want on the outside world. Good morning, Kim. We don't want that image portrayed. So sometimes we embellish things. Sometimes we don't say the negative to the world. And we bring that back to our relationships. Go with our veterans, ladies and gentlemen. Our veterans already feel, most of them, that they are defective. So admitting anymore, okay, anymore that they have a problem adds to their defectiveness. Girl, you are right. If I go to the Walmart lot looking good, I'm going to run into everybody I know. So they don't want to embellish that defectiveness. So what happens? Little white lies start. The next little white lie starts. They don't want to be defective. We don't want to be defective. So all these seeds of doubt are now starting to get planted. I mean, yesterday we talked about walking on eggshells. We're not honest in our feelings. Okay, so then when we become honest and the explosion happens, the veteran gets in their mind, I can't trust him. we get in our mind we can't trust them. Okay? It's those things that happen along our way. It's that seed of doubt, and those seeds of doubt build and become lack of trust. I know a lot of women, a lot of women say, I'm not saying your other does it, but a lot of women say, I've caught him sexting. And it drives me crazy, and I've said something about it, and then they come back and they're sexting again, or they're doing this, and this doubt just continues to go on and on and on and on and on. Right? But how do we play into that? How do other people play into us being something that we're not? Y'all, it wasn't until this year that I took an open, honest look at myself, and I am wrong. I used to be able to tell you without a problem if your ass looked fat in those jeans. But I wouldn't look at myself in the mirror and see that my own ass looked fat in those jeans. I wanted to be something I wasn't because I wanted that validation. And I think we all kind of do that. But if you're going to draw the line in the sand and you're going to rebuild your relationship and rebuild the trust, you have to stop watering the seeds of doubt. And I know that sounds like it's tough, and it is. So let's say, for example, let's take the sexting. Not that your spouse is doing it, but let's just use that as an example. So your spouse has been sexting, it's bothered you, you've talked about it, they say, we're done. Okay? We're done. How many times do you go to their phone and check? And what inevitably happens? They catch you on the phone. Now, do they believe that you trust them? Absolutely not. How many times in an argument do you bring it back up? Well, 6 months ago, you were sexting so-and-so. If you're going to draw the line in the sand to rebuild the relationship and deal with issues that were not, that created those seeds of doubt, that were the lie in the very beginning, or whatever it was, you got to leave it there until they prove otherwise. But don't go looking for otherwise. You have to draw the line and say, and never bring it back up again. Don't bring it back up that 6 weeks ago or 2 days. If today is your day that you're going to let, and again, you guys know how I feel about the one at a time thing. If today is the day you're going to address the sexting or whatever the one deceit is, one of the deceits are, whatever that is, you got to leave it alone from today forward and leave it behind you. Because you're never going to trust as long as you're watering your own seeds of doubt in what they have going on. We all do it. We all put on airs. We all do this. And it's hard to sit back and say, oh crap, I did. How many times has he asked me, has Carl asked me what's wrong, and I say nothing, and there's a whole lot wrong, and then all of a sudden I explode with the vial coming out. The lie is the lie. The deceit is the deceit. And what does it do? It turns ugly. Instead of saying to him, honey, I got a lot going on in my head, but it's something I have to work on. You know what? That's honest. But when I say nothing, and then it just boils up in my bubble and becomes this big festering zit that just goes everywhere, that's not being honest. Agreed. His phone and his wallet and your phone and your purse are personal property. If you start getting in it, it's an issue. Now, are there times that Carl will say to me, hey, I'm going to go to the store, where you got money in your purse? He always asks me before he gets in my purse, always, or I'll tell him the money's in my purse. A lot of times he'll bring it to me. But there are times that it's not that I don't want him in my purse, because I don't really care. I have nothing to hide from him. But that's still my space, my bubble. His wallet, his space, his bubble. His phone, his space, his bubble. My phone, my space, my bubble. Can he get on my phone if he needs to? Yep, he knows the passcode. Can he get up? Carl and I are not friends on Facebook intentionally. We choose to keep that separated intentionally. Can I get on his Facebook if I choose to? Yep. Can he get on mine if he chooses to? Yep. Do we choose to? Nope. You got to have that trust. You have to have that trust. I know for me, he had a friend that he's had his whole life, basically. Okay? And he calls her sis, and they have this great relationship. I was jealous as crap of her. Right? And I was reading into all this stuff. Do you know what problems it caused into our relationship? And you know how he fixed that problem? Every time he talked to her, he put her on speakerphone. Not because he had to, but because he wanted that seed of doubt erased. My ex-husband used to call me. He still does. And I knew it infuriated Carl when my ex-husband called me all the time. And so I didn't always tell him. Now, every single time. Why? Because it creates a seed of doubt. Why does it create a seed of doubt with him? Because his past baggage, his ex-wife cheated on him. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put it out there so you don't have that seed of doubt. It helps that relationship. So you got to draw the line wherever it's going to be, and you got to leave it alone. Because if you're not leaving it alone with a trusting attitude going forward, you're never going to get trust. You get back what you project. You're going to get back what you project. Okay? So if you're telling them you want them to trust you and you want them to be honest with you so you can trust them, but you're going behind every single thing that they're doing and you're checking up on it, guess what's going to happen? You're not going forward with an attitude of trust, so why should they? Why should they? If you're already telling them over and over and over and over and over again that they're deceitful and that they're lying and that they're always going to be a liar and they're always going to do this, then why should they change? Because you've already identified them that way. Yeah. Sis is great for him. It is amazing for him. She shares a part of his life with him, and like reading Sarah's comment, she shares a part of his life with him that I can't. And that's okay, because I share the rest of my life with him. But y'all, we give back. If he's doing it over and over and over and over again, and you throw it up time after time after time after time after time, why should he change? Because you've already said you're not trusting that his behavior is going to change. It's like a kid. You ground him. I can remember David. God knows. My children, mind you, challenged me with every inch of my being. My children challenged me with every inch of my being. Well, I work EMS. I know everybody in the EMS community. Everybody in the EMS community, right? So that means I know every police officer, every firefighter, everybody. So I let David drive to a football game, right? And I said to him, David, I'm not playing. To the game, back from the game, because my daddy always did that. That was just my thing. And I'm in EMS, right? So I know that there's an opportunity of a wreck, and I want to know that you're not in that wreck, because you're not where you're not supposed to be, because the only time I ever wrecked my car was when I was not where I was supposed to be. I'm just saying. So I told him that. I said, David, there and back, right? So you gotta picture this. Here is my child, who is 6'2" and a big old linebacker football player, right? He is driving an itty bitty little Geostorm, which might have had 3 cylinders on a good day. And he is laying drag through the main stoplight, or the only stoplight in the entire county. So he gets home. David, how was the game? It was good, Mom. Good. Anything eventful happened there on the way back? Nope. I said, wow. You know, there's some really, you got to be careful riding around, son, because there's obviously somebody who has a car just like you who is laying drag through the center of town. And he just looks at me and says, Mom, have you got eyes in the back of your head? I said, absolutely. So we got grounded, okay? And I flat out told him, you do it again, you're never driving one of my vehicles. Never driving one of my vehicles. But when I gave him the keys the next time, I had to have faith that he wasn't going to lay drag. And you know what? Every police officer in town already knew. I didn't ask them to call me if it happened again, but I assure you my child didn't do it again because he knew one of them would call me. But I had to trust that he wasn't going to do it again. So you have to trust and draw that line. It's critical. It's critical when you do that. Because if you keep bringing up where they've been, and I'm not just talking about your spouse, I'm talking about anybody in your relationship, every mistake they've ever made, and you keep bringing it back up and back up and back up, what do you think's going to happen? They're not going to feel like you trust them to begin with. They're going to feel like they're that person to begin with, so why not act that way? Why not act that way? We see it happen in the world all the time. So if you're going to get rid of the doubt, you got to be willing. If you want to build trust, you got to be willing to let go. If you want to rebuild trust, you have to be willing to let go of the past, draw that line, don't cross it, and get rid of the seeds of the doubt unless they prove otherwise, but don't go looking for it. And I'm telling you, when you start showing them that you believe in them, their attitude will change. When you start approaching your relationship in a positive manner, that is a manner that both of you are equal in, you are going to see a change. I'm telling y'all, PTSD is such a small part of our relationship problems with our veteran. We have allowed, they have allowed, society has allowed PTSD to govern our relationship, and most of it is not even PTSD related because this happens in the real world. If I can remember going to work and I'd have my stuff done. When I worked in the radio station, we had to have all the billing out and all the bills were done and all the stuff was done. And my boss would come to me and say, did you get it all done? Well, yeah, I got it all done. Did you get it all done? Yeah, I got it all done. Did you get... And finally, I just looked at him and I said, one month after like 11, did you get it all done? I said, no, I didn't. Well, why isn't it done? Because you didn't believe that I could do it, so why should I spend all my extra time and energy and overtime up here doing it? Nope, you can do it. You know, I kept my job and I got a promotion after that. Because the seed of doubt that I could do that was planted month after month after month. And finally I said, you know what? If this is what you believe of me, this is what I'm going to give you. And that's what we're doing to them. And we do it in every single relationship we're in. So what I'm trying to say is that the doubt and the deceit, and stuff, it's almost like they give us the symptom list, right? They give us the symptom list of PTSD, and we just sit there with that list and say, oh, my veteran's got this, check. My veteran's got this, check. Oh, he didn't do this before, but he's doing that today, check. This is what I have. Okay? This is what I have. It's like we check that off. When the doctor gives me the list of, oh, these are the side effects and symptoms of what's going on, and you can get this pain or that pain or a headache or this or that or the other. I had pain in my side the other day. It was driving me crazy. And I'm thinking, oh, is it my liver? No, you moron. It's where you went out and picked up a rake and tried to rake the yard. Okay, it had nothing to do with my liver. But you can blame it on that. I'll get a headache, and I'm like, God, it's lupus fog, Carl. He's like, no, it's not. You haven't eaten in 12 hours. Because it's easy to take everything that's wrong and blame it on the symptom list. Because it's easy to do. So you want to build trust. Let's start. Take your one thing that's driving you crazy, draw the line, leave the past in the past, go forward with that relationship of trust, and I'm gonna tell you, you will see your relationship turn around. Is it gonna turn around tomorrow? Absolutely not. Sue, how long have you and Corey been practicing what you're learning on here, and is it making a difference? Because Sue's in here, yes. Corey's so glad that I verbalized that I blamed her for PTSD when it's normal relationship stuff. But I'm telling you, Sue has been faithfully doing this, and her relationship with Corey is better. Absolutely. And she'll tell you that. But that's what happens. It takes baby steps. And once you start and you stop making PTSD the scapegoat, and you start realizing that you're taking what's going on in your life and you're matching it up to the symptom list, you're going to find your relationship is much better. Because in our relationship, in my and Carl's relationship, I will use Miss Nakia's word. There's a lot of fences that I tore up all by myself. Okay? I sat there and I tore up my own fences. Okay? I tore my own up. Carl has torn his own up. And together we can make a hell of a mess up in a fence. But we had to take accountability. And I'm telling you, when I learned to mend my fences, and I learned to go forward mending my own personal fences, he could too. Yeah, like Sarah's it's stage 2 TBI. She remembers everything, and he remembers what he wants to and how he wants to. And she's learning how to let him know gently that he's forgetting a lot of it. But that happens. Sue's answer when I said, are you doing this? She said, yeah, we've been together 10 years and she's seeing a difference. 10 years, it's never too late to turn your relationship around if that's what you want. But it's stop making the blame. Don't blame him. Don't blame PTSD. Don't even blame yourself. Look at yourself, straighten yourself up, and go forward. Okay? Just go forward. We all have garbage. We all come with garbage. And it's okay. We can check our garbage. But you want trust, that's where it's going to come from. Yeah, and there's you. Elisa says, when they've been the scapegoat in other relationships, it makes it hard not to see what you say as scapegoating. It does. Constructive criticism is like putting them down, and it's very difficult. And that's not necessarily a PTSD thing, that's a former baggage thing. So don't, it's the whole picture, y'all. It's the whole picture. But that's how we're going to get it back. You build the trust by overcoming the seeds of doubt one at a time, and you do that because you leave the seeds of doubt where they are and you stop watering the damn things. Because I watered the seeds of doubt that I planted in Carl's head with freaking Miracle-Gro and a sun lamp. I did. And the kid's like, you can't let past relationships be the roadmap to yours. You can't. because there have been, I can't tell you how many times, thank you, Jazz. I can't tell you how many times that I have said to Carl, I am not your ex-wife, and he has said to me, I am not your ex-husband, because that was the learned behavior both of us had, and we had to drop that at the door. And let me tell you something, I love him with everything in me. Nakia loves Richard with everything in her and then some. But my relationship with Carl is never going to be the same as Nakia's relationship with Richard, because every single relationship is different and there is no normal. And stop judging yourself by a standard that doesn't exist. It's that simple. It's that simple. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, peoples, we are going to talk about just that. Unpacking your baggage. Don't tote your baggage with you, or you are never gonna have a happy, healthy, loving relationship. Check your bags at the door. When you bring around the trash, it's never gonna be good. Every individual relationship is different. We do what works, just like Stephanie said, what's best for you and your relationship. And the reason we have a community is because we share what's worked for us, and we talk about what's worked, and you're just going to go boom. Okay? And something that works for me may not work for you. Because let me tell you another big secret to this. When you talk about PTSD, their MSO plays a huge role in what they have. Just going to shout that out to y'all. So, let me kind of wrap things up with where we are. First of all, March, starting in March, we have a Caregiver Hero. So y'all during the month of March start thinking about who we're going to have for April, because we've already picked. I took the liberty of picking our caregiver hero for March, and that is nothing more than our Nakia. Nakia is our caregiver hero. What she has done for Richard, I look up to that woman every single day, and I want to be more like Nakia every single day. So she is truly our caregiver hero for the month of March, and she'll be getting some great little gift at some point in March from some of our amazing new sponsors, which we're getting ready to have. I'm going to talk to you about that. Don't forget, y'all, the new inspirational post. If you see them, she's done them for 2 days now. Miss Rachel has done those. Those are her original photography, and it's from Captured from the Soul. Yes, Nakia, you are our hero. So she's doing that. So just go on there and give her a shout out about how much you like that. Jeannie Lutz's book, Live to Tell, Pharmacological Suicide. She will be our guest on Let's Talk for the first hour on Thursday night, March the 4th. I'm so excited. She's going to tell you what it was like. When you read her book, you need tears and tissues, because the first piece of each chapter will bring you to tears. And then you need your boxing gloves, because when she goes in and explains what each part did through the pharmacological stuff, you're going to throw things. So I just want to tell you that. Also, just our unplugged Loving My Veteran. If you want us to continue to bring you the content, the video, all the new stuff that is coming out, I'm not asking for money, okay? So just, you can take that off. But what I really do need you to do is, we have a YouTube channel. The videos are being posted on there as we speak. There's tons of them going up. There's probably 20 some videos on there. Go on that YouTube channel and review it, like it, share it. You can follow us on Instagram and share. The more likes and shares you do for Loving My Veteran, what it does is it helps our numbers and therefore our sponsors. And we want to show them that we have value, and we just love you as a community. So if you guys could do that for us, review the videos, even if you review them here. But if you'll start going to our YouTube channel, we have a bunch more coming out. There's going to be some stuff posted on there that's actually not on the lives here. So if you don't mind doing that, that will help us tremendously. So that is where we are, y'all. I am Stacy. This has been Walking My Shoes, and we're Loving My Veteran. And don't forget that all video content is copyrighted to Walking in My Shoes and Loving My Veteran. Y'all have a blessed day. I will post the link, Sue. When I get off here, I'll just put it in the group and the page as we start posting them. But absolutely, newsletter, I promise, is coming out today. If you have not subscribed, go to the website, www.lovingmyveteran.com, and I will get the newsletter out today by 5 o'clock Eastern Time. So that should do that. Oh, and I'm starting to do one-on-ones again. I'll post that information as well so you can schedule some one-on-one time if you need it. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for being part of our community. Nakia, thank you for being our hero, because we love you and I look up to you every minute of the day. Just want you to know that. Bye.